Some Good Tea, where we drink some tea and we share some tea. I am your host, Katie, and today I am sharing some tea once again with Sanan.
Hello.
We're very happy to have you back.
Pleasure to be here. I'm over here way high. No one can see it.
No. Maybe like one day when I'm cool, we'll do like a video format, but for now, it's just audio, guys. Just gonna be audio, but that's okay. You can use your imagination. Our topic that we're going to be sharing today is going to be all about movies, which I feel like is great. We haven't talked about movies at all. Not really. Like we've had
Not really. Like you had an anime episode.
Yeah. We've had an anime episode. We've talked about games. We've talked about nerdy stuff. We've talked about books. We've kind of like talked around the realm of movies. So I feel like this one's going to be fun. Plus, we've just kind of been wrapping up a really great summer of some really awesome movies. There's also been some really awesome TV shows that have come out recently. So, and there's some really good stuff lined up for this fall and winter. So I don't know. I'm a big movie fan, so I'm really excited to chat about this topic. And the tea that we're drinking this evening is by the Steeping Dragon. This one's called the Master's Blend. It's a rooibos based tea. It's a very like earthy toned, warm fall sort of blend. I felt like it was perfect for when we're recording. This is the beginning of September. It's not as much fall as I want it to be fall.
But it's getting that way. It's getting that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting that way. It was like 50 degrees this morning when I woke up. It was so nice. It was so nice. It was so great. And so it's like starting to get crispy. And so I was like, maybe if we drink some like sort of fall tea, it'll like help fall along, just like nudge it in the right direction.
Yeah, and I like most of all of the Steeping Dragon teas I've had so far, but I honestly I think this one's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it has almost like a vanilla flavor, like forwardness to it. It kind of reminds me of like pie. Like it tastes a little bit like I'm drinking like an apple vanilla sort of pie. Fabulous tea.
And
Absolutely
it
fabulous.
smells wonderful too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. I feel like this would go really well if you're the type of person, this might be sacrilege to some people. But I don't care what other people think. If you're the type of person that likes to put a little bit of cream in your tea, this would be an excellent tea to add a little bit of cream to, or a little bit of whipped cream on top. This would really
Oh yeah.
would really complement those like cinnamon, vanilla undertones and the earthiness of the rooibos. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great tea. Not a sponsor, just a fan. Like we love it. We love it. Anyway, Sonnet, if you want to do us the honors of rolling your dice first, let's
Absolutely. I have my
see.
fun little to book on a tome on a pedestal dice tower here that I'm going to try out here. So let's see, what have we got here? All right, we'll start out right in the middle with a 10.
10. Ooh, this is great. I feel like at this time in my life, everything can basically be summarized by memes, Instagram reels, and movie quotes. Is there a quote or two that you tend to find popping up in your daily life at the moment more often than not?
I feel like the answer is yes, but I can't
Yeah.
this is from like how the question is like when someone asks what do you want for Christmas, and before they ask you that question, you probably could have answered rattled off 10 things, and
Oh my gosh,
someone asks you and then it's suddenly like, oh, my brain, it is empty.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I liked this question because I feel like movie quotes and TV quotes and things like because they're so turned into memes and
Hmm.
reels and like clips
Hmm.
and things are they're so pervasive in our
Yes.
culture and
Well,
pervasive in our language that
mhm.
we don't really realize it unless we're thinking about it, how much we're probably using them on the daily
Yeah.
basis.
Well, I mean, there was the one that I used the other day at our
Uh-huh.
D&D chat where I suddenly popped in the about this moose did not bite my sister.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Okay, first
And
off,
for the context for those who are listening, um, I also do leather work, and I am
yeah.
currently making a bag, and I mentioned that I am making this bag from moose leather. So then I threw in
Yes.
the this moose did not bite my sister.
Yes. Yes.
But moose bites can be very nasty, but
Can be
this moose
very
did not
nasty.
bite my sister.
Um, for all of you poor unfortunate souls who do not know that movie quote, um, that is from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
And it's
Um,
actually not a quote that's spoken in the movie. It's
no.
it's it's in the subtitles in the ending credits.
Yeah. It's
And
not
it is so
actually the ending
completely
credits. It's the
it's it,
beginning credits. Because they put the credits for
mhm,
the end of the movie. That was back when they used to put the credits at the beginning of the film.
right?
And so the whole thing is you should watch it. All you
Hmm.
weirdos out there who haven't, you need to. It's such a weird film, and the credits themselves are a spoof.
Yes.
You need to pay attention to them. They are hilarious. And there are subtitles to the credits, and that quote is from those subtitles. It sounds like we're talking about some crazy thing right now. It is crazy. It's
It is
very
crazy
funny.
because it's Monty Python and it's
Uh-huh.
strange British humor. So
It's so
yes.
funny. It's so funny. I don't even know how many times I've seen that film because I've seen it so many times.
Hmm.
My dad is still a very big fan of Monty Python just in general. And so we grew up watching not only that, but the skits that they would did.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so yeah, I loved that you used that because nobody quotes that part of the film and you did, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is why we're friends."
Well, that's actually funny because it is one that will just like randomly come up with like me and several of my other friends, like some of my friends from college,
I
that will just
love
like
that.
randomly make some comment about moose.
I freaking
A
love that
moose bit
so
my
much.
sister.
Mind you, moose bites can be nasty. We would always say that in the accent too
Right,
because
and
it's
we've always got that.
accented.
We've always got that particular accent for that voice, and it's just
Yes.
like it's written word. Why does everyone have the same accent for
Everybody
it?
has the accent for it, but you do because that's how you read the subtitles. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I freaking love that movie. Oh my gosh. Right now, recently, it kind of started as like a thing between me and Aaron, actually, who's been on this podcast before.
Hmm.
I don't know how this happened. Um, but in the movie The Princess Bride,
Hmm.
you
Oh yes, Princess Bride is very quotable.
so quotable, right? It's
Oh, I mean, yeah, yeah. I will say, I think it's sorry to interrupt, but for a Princess Bride quote that just like comes up
mhm.
regardless of the circumstance, there is definitely um, bye bye boys, have fun storming the castle.
Have fun
Think
storming the
the
castle.
castle, think it'll work. It'll take a
It'll
miracle.
take a miracle. Bye-bye. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of quotes from that movie, right? But one that
And I
has
feel like that would just like kind of be applied to any situation too.
oh, absolutely. One that's entered my like daily vernacular kind of because of Aaron is
Hmm.
the one that comes from that scene where the king is walking down the hallway with Princess
Hmm.
Buttercup. They
Yep.
just had the wedding scene and she's like, "Oh, It's so dark, you guys. But she's like, "Oh, I'm going to when we get to my room, I'm gonna kill myself." And he like pats her hand and he's like, "It's nice." And then he waves to his wife and he's like, "She kissed me." Like totally checked out.
Mhm.
Just absent, not reading the room at all, not processing anything that's going on. Like
It's like this is a little old man
just
who
this
is
sweet little
senile, sweet little old man who has no comprehension of what she just said.
And so that line where he's just this smiling, toothless old man where he's like, "It's nice." I I say that all the time now
Oh gosh.
to like whatever. So we'll be having like a crazy day at work or whatever, and it's
Mhm.
like stressful, and Erin will come to me and say like whatever. I'll just pat her hand and be like, "It's nice." Just because it just feels so right and so wrong at the same time, and it's
Yes.
great. And she does the same thing back to me, and I love it so
Mhm.
much. It's so funny.
So
So
to
funny.
tangent slightly onto the Princess Bride,
Yeah.
um, when my friend Raven, when she got married, she and her husband just they went to one of those little wedding places. They got married at the hitching post.
Oh, that's cute.
Literally, they literally got married at the hitching post.
Oh my gosh.
But she warned me ahead of time that because when they first met the pastor there, the guy who would be conducting the ceremony, she warned me ahead of time that he sounds a little bit like the impressive clergyman in The Princess Bride, the
Wait,
Mowich.
what?
Mowich. And
Like in
boy,
real life?
yes, in real life, that is how like, not as pronounced,
You
but yeah.
can't see my face right now, but I'm real happy about that. Oh my
So
gosh.
basically, yes, she and her husband got married by the impressive clergyman.
Oh my gosh. That's not a bad thing. That's a great
No,
thing.
but I appreciated the heads up so that I knew
Well,
not to
because you
bust
don't
out laughing.
like if it's not a bit, right? If they're not doing it as a bit to be funny and cute or whatever,
But no, from what
you don't
it
want to
sounded like,
laugh
he
in the middle
just
of their
talks
ceremony. Like,
exactly.
that's amazing. Oh my gosh. Like if he just talks that way, like bless him. Oh my gosh. But that's fantastic. Whoever you are, sir, we love you.
Exactly.
You are a treasure. Oh my gosh, you are a
Never change.
hero. Never change. We need more people like you. You're just so wholesome. Oh my gosh. I love that. Freaking love that. I could probably list off so many others because like I said in the question, like my life is just now just a bunch of movie quotes. Like um
I mean, there's the "this is fine" meme that constantly comes up.
yeah. Oh, yes, with my job, of course. That's my yes, a lot. That happens a lot. I also do the thing that Zuko says. When Sokka's telling him about how his girlfriend got turned into the moon and he's
Mhm.
like, "That's rough, buddy."
Uh-huh.
I just that's rough, buddy. Like
It's
that
rough.
and when people get it, because like I don't even sometimes I don't even realize like I don't know. My siblings and I and my parents even like we just watched a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, and so we would quote them to each other all the time. That was kind of like our thing.
Mhm.
And so it just also became part of my personality that I'm just gonna regurgitate movie quotes
Yep.
all the time. And so I don't always realize that I'm doing it.
Mhm.
And so like I'll you'll be talking to me and tell me about something sad in your life and I'll be like, "That's rough, buddy." I'm not doing it to be mean. That's just my default setting.
Right?
Um, but
Default response.
but you know we're gonna be friends. You know you're a cool person when you get the quote and we make eye contact and you know that's from Avatar and then we be like that's great. That's cool. So yeah, like I don't always realize that I'm doing it, but
Mhm.
those are the ones that I'm currently cognizant of
right?
at the moment. Ah, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I will roll my dice. Let's see where
Yes.
this takes us next. Ooh, that is an 18.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh. Some comedies just hit the spot every freaking time. What is a movie that you have laughed at the first time you saw it, and you will laugh at it every single time you rewatch it again and again and again?
Hmm.
Oh, um, hmm. I mean, I Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Hmm.
Like that's like a dead giveaway because and especially like if I watch it with somebody who's never seen it before,
Oh yes. Hmm.
to like see their reactions to the sheer insanity.
Yeah.
Love it.
Hmm.
Absolutely love it. Um, I don't really know if it qualifies as a comedy,
Uh-huh.
but I love the movie Megamind,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it is so funny.
It is. Definitely.
It is so funny.
I mean, I think I would qualify it as it's a parody.
It's a parody.
So
Yeah.
that's a kind of comedy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's comedy.
like it's actiony, adventure-y. It's got a lot of different things that it fits into, but
Hmm.
I do see it as being also very funny.
Yes.
Um and yeah, gosh, it busts me up every time. I'm trying to think what else. I'm trying to think what else. There's definitely certain like rom-coms that are like just like terrible enough, right? They're
Uh-huh.
not too cringy.
Yeah.
They're just wholesome enough, but they're still like goofy.
Hmm.
Oh goodness. Um, I don't know. Can you think of one for
So,
you?
oh yes. Honestly, the first couple that come to mind are all by the same producer, so I'll start with
Uh-huh.
that,
Uh-huh.
and that is Mel Brooks.
Oh my
Because the
gosh, yeah.
first one that came to mind was Spaceballs,
Oh my gosh, freaking Spaceballs. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't say that immediately. Yeah.
and the second one that came to mind was Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Dude, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that.
Because comedies for me can be a very it really takes the right kind of comedy. To me, many comedies I don't enjoy because they are built on the idiot plot.
Yeah, I
The
feel like
idea that
some
our
of them
main
are,
character
yeah,
is so incredibly
dumb.
stupid
So
and
dumb.
that there is really no logical way that they could have reached this point in their life and still remember how to breathe.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
it's just
yeah.
like the situation is
Too,
it's I get very strong secondhand embarrassment
yeah,
and
yeah.
I also there's times when some of those comedies to me push over into the point where it feels like it's bullying. Like we are supposed to watch the
That's
world bully
interesting.
this character and we're supposed to find it funny. We're supposed to
That's
laugh
so
at
interesting.
their misfortunes.
That's such an interesting way of putting it that I never thought of before, of why there are certain comedies that rub me the wrong way.
Mhm.
But I
One of them that
really
I
like
felt
that.
really strongly about that really hit me that way strongly was
Hmm.
Bridesmaids.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
And I know some people who love that movie, and that's great. If that's your thing, awesome. You know,
Hmm.
it's just it strikes me in an uncomfortable place.
It can certainly come across as abrasive in certain lights for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But that
But
is
to
so
me, like
interesting.
Mel Brooks, most of his movies that I've watched kind of
Hmm.
hit like that right point of being comedically ridiculous parodies.
Yeah, like we can all laugh together.
We can all laugh together, but we're not. we're laughing with the characters too. We're not
Yeah.
necessarily laughing at them. They are like self-aware of the ridiculousness of their situation.
Yeah. Like they know and we all know that this is very dorky.
Hmm. And completely over the top.
Yeah.
And the fact that in Spaceballs we have this moment where we are going and renting a copy of the movie Spaceballs to to fast forward
Dude,
through it to find where the people we're looking for are at.
where when certain movies break the fourth wall
Hmm.
and they do it right, oh gosh, I love it.
Exactly.
Like in Robinhood Men in Tights where they pull out the script. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
He gets another shot. He
Uh-huh.
gets another shot.
He gets another shot. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Another one I thought of, this one I actually haven't seen in a long time.
Hmm.
Galaxy Quest.
Yes, Galaxy Quest
It's
is a fun one. Like
it's like so
Galaxy Quest was one that I wasn't sure whether I was gonna like it at
yeah,
first because it started out right on the verge of the idiot plot, the secondhand
yeah,
embarrassment thing,
yeah.
but it got over that hump quickly
Mm-hmm. And like
into, okay, this is just a fun movie.
it's a good movie.
Mhm.
Like it is such a good movie, but it laughs at itself very well.
Exactly.
And
And like it pokes fun at nerd culture without being insulting to nerd culture.
without being insulting, like it's almost like and we wrap our arms around it as like the nerds.
Hmm.
Um
Exactly.
and embrace it and it embraces us back.
Hmm.
And oh gosh, I love it. It's very funny. Very quotable,
Exactly.
very
Yes.
dorky. And gosh, it's just that one's
Hmm.
super funny.
Oh,
That one's
another comedy that I enjoyed. I've only seen this one once, but definitely
hmm
enjoyed it. It's called Fanboys.
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 Okay.
And the setting is these four friends go it's set like shortly before the release of Star Wars Episode 1. So it's real world setting in
Ooh.
America.
Ooh, interesting. Very
And
fun.
the concept is there's these four friends who have been Star Wars nerds since birth, basically.
Oh, I love this. Okay.
But one of the guys has terminal cancer
Oh.
and is not going to make it to see the release of episode 1.
Oh no.
So they do
This is supposed to be a
this.
comedy?
It is because what
Oh
they do is get these guys get together for a cross-country road trip to break into Lucas Ranch
no. Oh my
so that
gosh.
he can see this so he could see it before he
So they
passes
could like
away.
steal the reel and watch.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically, yes. No, just so that he can. The rest of them are willing to wait until it actually comes out. This is their like final hurrah to get him there so that he could have this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's pretty great.
And yeah, like I said, the concept there that it's a pretty dark starting concept, but they make it really fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of poking at the quote unquote rivalry between Trekkies and Star Trek and Star Wars fans.
I love that. That's amazing.
There are cameos by Carrie Fisher, by
That's so
I
fun.
I do not remember the actor's name, but the guy who plays Lando Calrissian,
Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
and William Shatner.
Oh my gosh. Dang, what a lineup.
So
That's so cool. I'm gonna have to watch that.
yeah,
Would you like to roll the dice again?
sure. Let's see what we get. Roll around the cat. I will get an 11 this time.
11. Ooh, this is a great question. Tell me about a film
Hmm.
that you saw, or a TV show, I guess, that was an unexpectedly wild, emotional roller coaster when you first saw it.
Ooh. Hmm.
Highs, lows, happy, sad.
Yeah, yeah.
that you weren't expecting.
So I'll put this with the preface that
Yeah.
I don't read Stephen King and I knew nothing about the plot before I went to this
Oh.
movie.
Ooh.
The
Excellent.
Green Mile.
Oh no, son, and you went into that blind.
I did.
Oh, I would have liked to have been there with you. Oh gosh.
Because yeah, I did not know
What
what
you
I was
signed
getting
up for?
into, what I
Oh
signed up for.
no. Wait,
But
so had you seen a trailer at least?
no, this
Oh
was
no.
I was visiting family and a couple of them decided, hey, they wanted to go to a movie and invited me to
Okay.
come along. And this is what they
As you
picked.
do. As you do. That's normal, right? That's a normal thing to
Hmm.
do.
Hmm. And they picked the Green Mile, so we went to see the Green Mile.
Fudge. Oh, oh my gosh. You went into that one blind.
If
Yeah,
I'd
that
known
would
what I was
be.
getting into, I would have brought more Kleenex.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how much did you cry?
Oh,
Woo,
definitely.
woo. I mean, amazing
The
film.
the ending of that film, you know?
Yeah, amazing. Like, beautiful. So good. Have
Hmm.
you read it? Have you read it
I
now?
have read it since then,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Is it better now that you read it?
I mean, it was good. I both
Okay.
enjoyed the movie and the book. So,
Awesome.
no.
Okay, good.
No,
That's great.
it was going into it, it was a positive, you know,
It was a good cry.
a good cry.
It was a good emotional roll. Like there was the
Yes.
happy and the sad and the yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it was like a this hits you in the feels.
It hits you in the feels and it was like a good smack. It was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, it's beautiful." Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, what a film to walk into blindly. Like,
Right?
wow. Wow. Hadn't even seen a trailer. Whoo. But what a film to sometimes I wish I could do that like purposefully because I do feel like
Hmm.
there's some things that it's like I just want to experience like literature or a film or a song. Like I just want to experience it like
For the first
real
time
for the
again.
first time again. Like
Yeah.
having known nothing. So I actually really like to be surprised in that way. It rarely happens because like
Hmm.
you also don't want to like be disappointed, or
Right,
be
right.
surprised in like a bad way,
Hmm.
especially with movies. Like the tickets are not cheap.
Right.
It's a commitment of time
Hmm.
and resources or whatever to go and sit in a film in a movie theater on like an evening or an afternoon or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, and if it is garbage or you don't like it or whatever, you kind of want to know beforehand,
Hmm.
right? Before you walk in and sit down.
Yeah.
So like that's
Uh,
why there's trailers and reviews
yeah.
and stuff so
Yeah.
that you can like know ahead of time like is this something that I'm interested in that I
Yeah.
like?
Oh,
But
so,
like
just thinking about
yeah.
another movie that I wasn't going into this one totally blind, and this was one
Uh-huh.
that I rented and watched in the privacy of my own home.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
knew
there
like
was a bit of a buffer for all the like
yeah, for
emotions.
yeah, for the one I'm about to talk about, and
Okay.
that is Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Wait, okay, wait. When was it that you watched this? How long ago was this?
Um,
Is this a recent thing
well,
that you watched?
no, this was when there was still a Blockbuster in my town.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. I was about to be dumbfounded if you were
No,
like,
no,
he watched it like in the past 5 years. I was be like, Sonnen, I thought
no,
you had a
no.
classical education.
No, no, I've
Oh
seen
my
this. So
gosh.
that was much long ago.
Okay, okay. I
Although
was just making sure that you were okay.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
but again, that was one that like
Ooh.
I had some like I'd read some review about it and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that, and so you know I went into it first off knowing the time period it was set in, kind of
Okay.
having some sense of what it was about,
Yeah.
and knowing that it was all going to be subtitled.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, that's
they they
important to know. I feel like
and that was actually one of the things at when I was renting it. They were like, you know, this is subtitled, right? There's no English tracks. Like, it's okay. I know that. I'm good with that.
that's
I'm
important
not
to
going to be the
know.
person who comes back screaming that I have to
Mad.
read.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, especially at that time period. Guys, once upon a time, if there are children listening, brace them because this might terrify them. Okay. Once upon a time, we used to have to call humans or interact with them in person and ask for and then pay for a physical copy of a movie. And it was on things called a VHS. And
Or
then
a
you would,
DVD.
or a DVD. That was advanced when it became a DVD, a disc. And you would rent it for a certain amount of time. And you could take it home and watch it. And then you'd have to bring it back. You'd
And
have
they
to,
charge you more money if you were late.
yep, not like a library, but you could check them out from the library, and they were usually more beat up if you got them from the library. That was a thing, guys. Before streaming happened, that was before the internet was invented. Okay, the scary story's over. The children can come back now.
All right, all right.
Dang, Pan's Labyrinth. That's such a classic. That's such a
It's
classic.
yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's
it's
definitely one that's like, ooh, that one by the time you're done with it, it's like, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna sit here for a bit.
just sit down and
I'm
think
just gonna
about life.
process that whole
Yeah,
2 hours that I was just put through an emotional rigor.
yeah, I don't know. And that's also part of I don't know if it's possible to like watch certain films blindly now just because they've been out for so long and they're so
Hmm.
popularized. But I guess if you're like living under a rock, maybe you never heard of Pan's Labyrinth and you don't know. Um, so
Yeah.
maybe you could watch it blindly. Um, it's great. It is great. 10 out of
I
10.
also own the soundtrack because that's beautiful
Ah,
soundtrack.
it's beautiful. Very well done film. Um, for me, for like a recent film,
Hmm.
um, one of the ones that actually caught me very off guard, I did not go into this blindly,
Hmm.
was the second Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a
Hmm.
little while ago.
Yeah.
The first Guardians of the Galaxy I didn't actually see in theaters.
Yeah.
Um, I had seen a few years after it'd been released, and I was like in my undergrad, and like you're a college student, you can't always go to the movie theater, blah blah blah. And I was
Hmm.
like a Marvel fan, but like life was busy. And I was like, I liked certain Marvel movies, and I was kind of like a
Yeah.
meh fan at the time. It hadn't like fully grown on me yet what was
Hmm.
happening with the Marvel universe, and
Hmm.
also if I liked each of the characters in each of the films, I wasn't 100% sold yet.
Sure.
And when the first Guardians of the Galaxy film came out, I saw the trailers and I was like, this, I don't know how I feel about this. Um, I was a fan of the comics, and I wasn't like a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. That wasn't one that I necessarily followed. So I was like, I'll wait till it comes out and like maybe watch it at a friend's house. I'm not gonna like I'm broke. I can't
Right.
afford food, so I'm not gonna buy like a movie
Not gonna splurge
ticket.
on a movie ticket, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll watch it for free at somebody's house. And then I watched the first one and I loved it because up to that point, like superhero movies were very like cut and dry. It was very like this is what a superhero movie is like, and this is what you can kind of expect. And I felt like the Guardians of the Galaxy broke that mold in a
Hmm.
lot of ways, and I loved it. And I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting to love it, and I loved it a lot, and it was super funny. Uh and great. And so I was really excited for the second one. And I
Hmm.
was very much anticipating like, some of these other Marvel movies are particularly serious and more of the like classic superhero trope
Yeah.
movie. Guardians of the Galaxy are like kind of the like naughty, we're superheroes, but we're like also troublemakers, and our show is like kind of a comedy show, and we'll save the
Mhm.
universe, but we will also be grumpy about it. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so that's what I was expecting going into that film, and that's what the trailers set you up for. And I was like, oh, and we're gonna get more of Quill's backstory, and oh, we're gonna see this, and oh, the romance, and all this.
Hmm.
And then you
And you
watch
got,
that
yep.
film,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden, you are getting more of Quill's backstory, and you meet his mom, and you meet his stupid dad. And first off, if anybody's listening and you haven't seen these films yet, what is wrong with you? You need to pause this podcast right now and go watch them.
Hmm. You
Because
should.
I'm like, nah, buckle up, Buttercup, because this one will rock your world. Like I cried so much in that film, and I was
Hmm.
not expecting to. I was not expecting to.
Yeah.
They Marvel hurt me. Like they hurt me with the one film that I didn't think they were gonna hurt me on, you know?
Right?
Because like all of a sudden you meet Quill's dad. And you're like, oh my gosh, he finally gets to have a dad. All he's wanted was a family. This is so great. And then he turns evil, and you're like, oh, which I feel like is a whole other thing we could talk about. But I feel like Ego was a great villain, such a good
Yes.
villain for so many reasons.
Well,
Um,
even his name tells us so much about him.
so much about him, right? So many red flags, first off, guys.
Right?
So many red flags, but you're caught up in the moment and you can really relate to Quill that he was
Hmm.
just wanted a dad. He just wanted a dad so badly. He was so blind, right? And there's all this going on, and you're just caught up in the emotions. And then in that final fight, there's things that are said that you're just
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, this guy is the worst. When he crushes, like, I
Yeah.
cried when he crushed Quill's like little recorder that had
Walkman?
his so yeah his Walkman that had his songs on it.
Hmm.
That crushed my heart so bad. One, because I had a Walkman, all right?
Yeah.
Those things were worth their weight in gold. That was your life. That was everything. That was everything. So I felt that as a little kid. I felt that. But that was like his connection to his mom. Like there were so many things that were so messed up with that. I just like the tears just started flowing. I was like, no, it can't happen. And then you start like Yondu, meanwhile, has
Yeah.
been on this
Yondu's
whole
whole arc in that one.
he's been on this whole arc. And in the first film, you hated him.
Oh yeah.
He was a
He was
turd.
the worst.
He wasn't really like he wasn't a villain, but he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And you were very much set up to be like, hey, you're not the villain, but you're kind of a garbage person.
Uh-huh.
And I don't like you, and I don't like what is going on. And then you kind of he goes on this arc where you're like, not only are you a bad guy, but the other bad guys think you're
You're
worse
bad.
than them. Like, dang, son. But he sees the light and is like, dang, I really am the pits. And he goes through this like whole redemption arc and is like, I gotta turn this around, I gotta make things better. And then you see like why he chose the things he chose, and that it
Hmm.
was coming from a good place, and like oh it messes you up inside, and you're just like,
Right?
oh shoot. And then it's all revealed at the end, and then what does he do? Like an idiot? What does that idiot do? He sacrifices himself?
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Like,
That one was actually on TV a couple of weeks ago when I was
dude,
at a hotel because they were doing like
no.
basically a whole Marvel marathon.
It's great. First off, great thing to do. Marvel Marathon is a great thing to do. Um, I don't cry anymore when I watch that film.
Hmm.
I still really like it. I still really like the
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, especially the second one. But especially when I first saw that scene and we just came through this awful fight. Quill's
Hmm.
lost so much, the team's lost so much. They're barely getting out of there alive. And he's had this revelation and this connection with Yondu. And kind of come to terms with all of this, and had to step away from so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then freaking Yondu sacrifices himself and has that stupid line where
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "You might not have had a father, but you did have a daddy." It's
Yeah.
like, that broke me. That broke me in so many ways. I was ugly crying into my bucket of popcorn, like just
Yep.
snot tears everywhere. It was just so bad. Like the tissues, there weren't tissues. It was the popcorn
The
salted
napkin.
napkins that were like getting the salt and the butter in your eyes. Like,
Mhm.
and the thing is about that movie, 2 scenes ago, I was laughing my head off because Groot couldn't freaking figure out how to push a button. Like,
Uh-huh. Or which button to push.
which button to push? And that's the thing about that movie. Like, you didn't know which way you were walking. You kept
Hmm.
walking into walls. They kept hitting you with different emotions. You're like, and now you're gonna laugh, and now you're gonna cry, and now you're gonna laugh, cry, and now you're gonna be happy, and now you're gonna be sad, and now you're gonna be loving it, and now you're gonna hate it. Like, oh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I walked into that thinking I was watching a specific kind of movie and walked out of it realizing that I had watched a completely different kind of movie.
Yeah.
Like, so well done.
Oh,
Well, I think we have time for maybe one more question.
all right. I
Uh,
think it's your roll.
I think so. I think so. Let's see what we get. Ooh, that is a 7.
All right.
Tell me about that one movie that your parents hate so much because
Mhm.
you watched it way too much as a kid. Um, I I don't know. Okay. So the first one that comes to mind, not so much for me, but we used to watch this one little girl in our neighborhood. We
Hmm.
would like babysit her. Like she would come over and hang out all the time.
Sure.
This was when I was like in middle school. So I wasn't like super young, but she would
Hmm.
was like between the ages of like 3 to like 5, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like right before preschool and then kind of in preschool, you know? So we would kind
Hmm.
of like watch her in the summertime. She was so cute. And she loved Cinderella.
Ah.
Cece.
Hmm.
She couldn't say Cinderella at first.
Hmm.
And there's one summer, uh, every day, whenever she was at the house, we would watch Cece because she wanted to watch Cece,
Hmm.
Cinderella. That's all she wanted to watch. Um, and I still like this was the old classic, uh, uh,
Right. The
the
Disney.
cartoon Disney version of Cinderella.
Hmm.
That was the one she was just like little kid brain glommed onto.
Yep.
I still like it. I think it's cute. I love those little mice. Like,
Right.
they're a cute little song and dance when they're making the
Hmm.
dress. Cinderella, Cinderella. She
Cinderella.
would like dance around while they were like
Oh.
so cute. She was such a cute little girl. Um, yeah, every single day. I never heard my mom complain, but my mom's really nice.
Uh-huh.
So like, I don't know for sure. But we never really watched it when we weren't watching her. So
Hmm.
do with that as you will.
Right.
But she loves Cece. Um, and yeah, we watched a lot of Cinderella that summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Before that, my brothers and I went through this stint of like whenever we would have a like sleepover
Uh-huh.
with us and all our friends. For whatever reason, we were obsessed. And this is when we were like very young.
Okay.
Like, I think I was like 6, 5 or 6. We went through this phase where we loved The Wizard of Oz.
Mm.
All of us, like
Mm-hmm.
me, my brothers, all of our friends. And we had this like hide a bed couch situation
Okay.
and a gigantic beanbag thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would pull out the couch and mound the beanbag and make just this giant like bed and have like a million children sitting in front of this tiny television because this was
Of
before you
course.
had big TVs. Well, okay. The TV probably weighed 8,000 pounds.
Yes.
Let's be
Right.
honest,
Right.
right? Right, but it wasn't big.
Right. But the screen was not.
Yeah. And we would watch The Wizard of Oz obsessively. And we would make air popper popcorn and just there would be like an ocean of all these little kids just like watching The Wizard of Oz. We loved The Wizard of Oz. I don't know why. Like anytime we were having a sleepover, that was the movie of
That was the
choice.
movie of choice.
And
Okay.
like I remember every time we would be like, do we want to watch this? Do we want to watch that? Because like we always had a good movie collection. My dad
Sure.
my dad liked movies, my mom's liked movies, we liked movies, so we would always have an abundance of them. We had the cool movie collection house, so that's why we would
Yep.
have like the cool sleepovers with all the neighborhood
Right.
kids.
And you would all watch the one same movie over and over.
Always, all of us would all collectively decide every time it like went through the stent of the Wizard of Oz. So like I don't know how many times I've seen the Wizard of Oz, but it was a lot.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ah, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's definitely others that like I went through my phases of like I know as a kid I really liked like the little cartoon Robin Hood. I
Hmm.
really liked All Dogs Go to Heaven. Like I went through different phases of like liking different movies as a kid, but like those are the ones for sure that stick in my head of like,
Hmm.
oh, we were like weirdly obsessed with these
Yeah.
at certain periods. And
My what
I
my
don't
younger cousin for a while was it was Fievel. Fievel Goes West.
Oh my gosh, freaking Fievel. That's a great movie to be obsessed with.
Hmm.
Especially Fievel Goes West. That's
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, it was Fievel Goes West rather than the first one.
the
So
original. Yeah. And that's okay. Like either
yeah, no, they're
they're
both
both
really
very
fun,
cute. Very cute. I haven't seen either of those in a while. I should rewatch them.
right?
So cute. So, so cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Now
Fievel.
for me, I don't know whether I watched any movies to the point that like my parents got totally sick of it, but I can tell you a movie that I can probably still quote most of,
Uh-huh.
and that's Willow.
Oh, Willow. Oh, that's really great. I love
We
that.
we had we had we had it on VHS, like this
Uh-huh.
recording that someone else had given us,
Oh,
so
you
that it
had a
had
recorded
yes,
one.
so it had The Princess Bride and Willow, and I think there was something after Willow, but I never bothered watching that, whatever it was.
Did it have ads on there?
No, no, they were actually the
Ooh.
movies, but
Oh, snap.
it was like on a home video recorded.
Dang. That's impressive. We definitely had our share of we recorded these from live TV. That was a thing,
Hmm.
guys. That was a thing you could do. Children, here's another scary story. Back in our day, there was this thing called live television, and you used to be able to take a blank VHS and stick it into your TV, and you could record live television onto the VHS,
So you could watch it later.
so you could watch it later. That was a thing. And if you were diligent and or particularly skilled, you could pause the recording when the ads came on.
Hmm.
Or if you just didn't care, you just let it record But like a VHS tape is literal tape. Like it only has so much space on there,
So
right?
you
And
better know how long
yep,
how much tape you have,
yep,
how long is your show,
yep,
how close to the end of the tape are you?
yep. And was there something important on it before you started recording? Because you can absolutely record over top of something.
hmm
I think this is probably, though, all the time that we have to talk about all of these things for now. But I really appreciate you being willing to join me tonight. This has been
Yes.
some delicious tea.
hmm
I love talking about movies. We'll definitely have to talk about this topic again sometime.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
but this is all we have time for tonight, guys. We will talk at you later.